To a Z-Cooks, Zios. The next couple will be Z-Cooks because this is the unboxing camera, so if I'm not paying attention, it'll just end up on the unboxing channel. Or even worse, all the segments of this, which will be like 5 minutes each, mixed up in multiple unboxings. It'll be like a national treasure puzzle. Anyway, it's currently 9:42 a.m. Pasta's in the basement working out in her pole. And I'm going to make soup because it's been a hot minute since I've made soup for myself. And that's like my go-to comfort meal, is just get some chicken broth, some chicken. I have less sodium chicken broth, regular sodium chicken broth. I got cans of chicken breast. Got anime music videos playing on my new laptop to see if I can keep it going on a lesser charger while powering videos. Let's just go with it. 2 onions. Now, I've not usually add onions, so this is going to be a new thing. This might be too much onions. I put 2 onions. Cut into flowerlets. Like, I want this size piece softened. And it doesn't take hours to make this soup. Usually I rush it and I can have the soup in an hour, but we're just gonna let it simmer. We're gonna let it, it's gonna be lunch. I've got this celery that I have to trim and use because it's getting a little bit dated in the fridge. Boom. Give the whole board a flip. And then make this special hole. It's designed for the trash to fall through. Isn't that nice? Now these I'm gonna cut in like 1/4 inch. God damn, I love celery and soup. Now, I'm only gonna use half this bag of carrots because Pasta and I bought this bag of carrots and I think we're supposed to share, and she's not gonna have chicken soup. There's also a salad out because I was gonna literally eat a salad for breakfast while I wait for this to cook. That's another thing. You can't just be like, I'm hungry, I'm gonna make soup. That doesn't work. Being hungry and making soup does not work. You have to be hungry, decide you're gonna make soup, and then eat something in the meantime. These are the real talk tips of the kitchen. So we've got onions, celery, carrots. Boom. We'll put the this is just collagen 100% chicken broth. Now you can cut this with water, but then you got to add a whole bunch of other stuff. So I'm just going to use 2 of these. As far as a pasta goes, because I like to put pastas in my soup, not the person in the basement, I have these mozzarella di bufalo, campagna di porto, and sun-dried tomato stuffed pasta. So it's basically tortellinis with interesting stuff in it. So these will end up going in there, but not right away. We got to sort of get this thing settled. These chicken breasts, these chunk chicken breasts from Members Mark, which is Sam's Club, relatively high in sodium. Actually, it's not bad, 370 times 4. But I'm not concerned about the salt because obviously if you're making soup, you could have a small amount of it. I'm just gonna get this in there. Those will break apart nicely as we cook. Give this a stir. We need a wooden spoon or wooden spatula will work. Yeah, get that out there. So now this is half the amount of liquid we're gonna have in it. I just wanna get it up to like a temperature and then we're gonna add the other half. Break up your chunks. Now the other things I'm gonna add to this are probably gonna be, not now, but as we're coming up, heavy cream. I've got a heavy cream, well, it's egg whites, so I want to add that. Heavy cream is somewhere in here. I'm gonna add that. There it is, it's under the ketchup. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be under the ketchup? I put that on the floor, it'll rest there for a hot minute. I may have to add some of this reduced sodium chicken base, because for some reason, depending on, it just sometimes doesn't taste chickeny enough. So that would be to fix that. And so it'll be cream and maybe some better than bouillon. If I didn't have the cream, milk is usually what I add. There's a color thing. And then my ultimate add-on is always the Romano cheese. Freshly grated here in Z's kitchen. Using my KitchenAid. I grate my own cheese, so we should be good. I also have these 2 pieces of chicken cutlet, which are barely anything left, which I'm gonna probably cut on this board and then put in my own mouth right now. 2 of those. So now, all we do basically is wait. This doesn't go in until that is at a rolling boil. And then you, basically how long it sits is until the vegetables are done. Yeah, get in there. We're trying to get the correct flavor profile. So all the vegetables should help with that. You want some chicken? Cat wants some chicken? Have some chicken. You at least go get the chicken. You're embarrassing me. People are gonna think I have a lame cat. Get chicken. It's right by your face. I threw you chicken. I think he's just sitting in the sun. All right, I'm gonna have a salad now with obviously added chicken. We're delicious. Things have come to a boil. I reduced the heat to low. I covered it. Should have covered it before, but covered it now. We are nicely boiling. So the things I'm going to add these because I don't think these are going to fall apart. The problem would be if I added it, if it was regular pasta, if it was just like the little chunky pastas, the things you throw in soup, it doesn't matter. They're going to be sitting in soup till tomorrow. So they're going to get as soft as they're going to get. These I worry about falling apart. So I want to sort of get them, like the carrots take a hot minute to get soft. You got the onions got to get soft. The chicken's just turning into whatever the chicken is. It's in there early for flavor. Honestly, if I was magic, I would have all the chicken flavor in there and then I would add the chicken after it's done. Just have like cooked chicken, chop it up, drop it in there so there's like perfect meaty chunks of chicken. But that's canned chicken, so I don't give a shit. The more it gets softened up and abused, the better. Full-bodied. I like how the artist to that is Spanish. Like in Spain, it's wild. It's like, this is like an anime, but as a Spaniard. Can I call people Spaniard? Being a Spaniard sounds awesome. So I'm gonna add these. A couple of these are stuck together. This is on low, by the way. One of the absolute massive negatives of propane heat is you can't fucking simmer anything. It all just turns into extreme boil, always. And then slightly less extreme boil. Which is why I use this a lot. So like if I'm doing onions, I'll just put it on the, what are you? Induction cooktop, thank you. My brain was like, induction cooktop. So yeah, natural gas, love. Propane, better than standard like coiled electric. And I still will want it. Like there'll never be a point in my life where I just want electric or just induction. Because I want to get over the fire and I want to do things, I want to hit it. This is all glass, you can't be violent, you can't really use cast iron like you would over a fire. And one of the big things about gas, no matter if it's propane or natural gas, is it does, and people don't know this, like I should be running that fan on low. Because there are fumes, you're combusting a gas in your home. Now I have 26-foot ceilings, but I have this meter over here. This is more top tips of Zeos that shows me the CO2 in the air. And normally it's like 450, 490 when I'm alone. Pasta's in the house, she's breathing in and out. So it gets higher into the 500s. We had 2 other guests, it was up near 900. And if you run the burners on the stove all day, this will hit 1300. When I was cooking here and we had the chafing dishes and I had a party, that was at 2000. And I bought one of those because Technology Connections, Alex and Technology Connections, he's in a smaller house and he was cooking on his stove and he had that in the other room and it was like, it was killing. The CO2 was insanely high because you're supposed to run the fan all the time and no one does it. Like it's 20 degrees out, or it was earlier. Now it's probably like 28 degrees. But as soon as you put this fan on, where's your new air coming from? That crack and the crack by the front, under the front door. So you're filling your house, your air is getting replaced with cold air, which makes your heating system run harder. So it's less efficient, but you're going to die of CO2 poisoning slowly over years and years and years. So electric is better in that regard. But I just love cooking over gas. And why is there a green bean down here? And can I get it without burning myself? Anyway, these are the little things that I've come to terms with in Z reviews and cooking and in general. Like I keep one of those up there. It doesn't tell me the time. It just tells me what the air quality is. Although it doesn't know everything about air quality, because when Canada caught fire and this whole house was filled with smoke from Canada wildfires, that shit was like, nah, air's good. Because the CO2 wasn't apparently a thing. It was carbon monoxide. And it should be checking that. Anyway, so I put this in there. I'm gonna, if it doesn't get low enough, just shut it off. Like it's still boiling. So I'm gonna turn it off, echo, set a 5-minute timer. I'll come back in 5 minutes, turn it back on, run it for 5 minutes, turn it back off. Or I see this pot won't work on that, or I could just lift it up and put it on there and set it to a specific degrees. It's just annoying on propane. So we're dealing with propane in the dealing with things. Also, my kitchen is great when you want to like go completely blind. I have my eyes completely shut just now, or I would have, oof. So this is probably going to be in this state going on and off for at least another hour, 45 minutes to an hour.
Check cat water dish.
Okay, do that. I filled it up yesterday, so it's full. And I filled that one up. Every 4 days, it asks. Or did I tell it specifically like every 100 hours? No, I would have done that because it'll tell me in the middle of the night to check the cat water dish. But it's nice. Every 4 days, remind me to do this. It's good. Don't clean the fucking litter boxes. So now that's off. It's still bubbling. Turn it back on. 35 to 40 more minutes of this. At most an hour, but I'm going to have a bowl and it's going to sit there. So whatever happens, happens. Milk-a-loop. Bye. I don't know how long it's been, 25, 30 minutes. I'm turning on and off. We're going to now remove the heavy whipping cream. I do like to put the cheese in before and then on top also, because that's my style. What else did I have to add? Why am I hallucinating? We'll do a taste test and see if I got to add this. Usually I do. There's something just about that they don't have enough chicken. There's not enough. Actually, there's a better than bouillon sauteed onion, and I use it for the first time. And I need a that-sized jar of it because it's fucking amazing. All right, I've just turned you back on. I should have waited till you were cool to do this. Actually, I haven't stirred this since you last saw me stir it. Yeah, those pastas have blown up, but they're still solid. They're still together. I should have a fork, but I can't taste the broth with a fork, so. I mean, you can, it's just you have to splash it in your face. Yeah. Because here's the thing, I want to add salt, but I can't add salt. I'm on a low salt diet. I have like a limited salt, that's a word. So what I'll do is I'll add this, which is essentially salt, but also flavor. I'm also going to wipe it off because I just put it in my mouth hole. This is great. This is great stuff. This is the shit right here. Just gonna let that stir on my spoon. Yeah. You want to try to like beat up this lump, get it nice and warm, and distribute it. Because I don't want to stir this thing violently. It'll break the pasta apart. That'll be enough of that. We're actually gonna shut the heat off. You could leave the lid off if you find it's boiling like mine is. I could just leave the lid off, but you lose a lot of moisture. And that while that can concentrate the soup, I didn't add any water, so it would just make you. I want more broth. It's a fucking soup. You know, one of my favorite meals of all time is Qdoba, and they had it, then they got rid of it, then they brought it back, and I'm not sure if it's there now because there's no Qdobas near me. But they have a tortilla soup, and they have a loaded tortilla soup. And if you get the tortilla soup, you got a little cup. It's like this big. It's like $3, and it's just liquid, and it just it's so fucking salty, and it's got the little bits of corn, and it's so good. You get the loaded tortilla soup, and it looks like this. It's a giant bowl, and there's hardly any soup. It's all fucking jalapenos and rice. It's everything. It's a solid mass. And in fact, if you get it and let it sit for like a half an hour, it just becomes like you can cut it like a cake. So what I used to do, I get the loaded tortilla soup, with the cheese and everything else. Then I would get 2 or 3 of the regular tortilla soups and pour them in to the loaded tortilla soup. I had to put in a different container because then it would become soup again. And I don't want that to happen here. So I want to try to leave as much actual soup, like liquid, as possible. We're not measuring this. We're just going to pour. We're going to do a P&P, a pour and pray. We're trying to get the right, like, this is going to add a little bit to the creaminess, but it's also like a looks thing. I don't understand people who have like chicken soup that's just purely clear. Like it's not appealing to me. That's the color of a really good chicken soup. Again, we're being gentle. We don't want to break apart our pasta. And so adding, my brain is trying to form ideas on how to tell you to add cheese to this, because cheese will literally clump and become nothingness. I used to buy the pre-grated cheese at Costco, which was like, it used to be $16 for two-pound things, and then the future happened for the last 8 years, and then now it's $15 for a single 1.5-pound bag, and I'm like so angry at it. So I just buy the regular stuff, which is the same price, and grate it myself, and it's better, except for this. Pre-grated stuff has a coating on it to keep it from clumping, which is bad. You don't want to have anything added, but when I'm adding it to a warm soup, the anti-clumping agent keeps it from melting into a clump. So I'm not going to add an anti-clumping agent. So I'm just going to do is I'm going to add a very little amounts and just give it a stir. Try to spread it out. Because if it melts and then decides, hey, I want to be part of a collective again, it'll just become a lump. In fact, I ruined something for New Year's Eve. I had New Year's Eve and I decided I'm going to make cheesy pasta. Just ziti with grated cheese on it. A little butter, a little milk, grated cheese. Everyone loves that shit. It goes like wildfire. But I didn't want to use my expensive machine grated pasta, because that shit's like, it's $22 in that bag. So I bought just a tub of Parmesan. Shredded thing. And I'm like, great, it's already pre-shredded. And I took it and I dumped it in the thing with the milk and the butter and the pasta, and I stirred it and I stirred it and I stirred it, and I pulled the spoon out, and it was a fucking cotton candy thing of cheese. It had just instantaneously recombobulated into a single block. And I literally had to take out my expensive cheese and replace it, because there was no cheese left in it. There was no getting that cheese back to separate little pieces of cheese. It just became one again. So that was a time that it failed me. And I don't know why it would, considering it was a wasn't shredded. It was grated cheese too. So if I'm scraping and I lift up and there's no cheese on this, then I think I've done my job. So let's taste this now again, even though this still has what's it called on the spoon. So let's try to melt the better than bouillon off the spoon, which is also now heating the spoon, which means when I put the spoon in my mouth, it's gonna be hot as fuck. Oh yeah. Oh, that's good soup. That's good soup. So now, fork your mother. We use a big fork. I hate the big forks. We'll use a big fork. We need to scare up some things. We need to see how the carrots are doing, which you don't have to eat the carrot. You can just poke it. I've stabbed right through this, so it means it's pretty much done. Good. Celery, I'm going to assume is fine. Pasta, I'm assuming is fine. The onions are nice and loose. I'd say this soup is done. Do you want it to be really good? Power off. Walk away. Just walk away for like as long as you, just forget about it. Go work in the yard, go down the basement, start reorganizing your tools. Do anything. Because just leave this, soup's off, there's no heat. Let it cool down to like just above room temperature. And then if you want to heat it back up a little bit, that'll be the best soup. Right now, the soup isn't done. I just added the milk products. I just added the cheese. It needs time to breathe. But not breathe, like cover it. Okay. Now that's what I'm actually going to do. That I'm actually going to walk away. I'm going to do this. This Z-Cooks is done. We're done. You trust me. That's going to be amazing fucking soup. But you got to walk away. You can't, just don't be here. Go find something else to do. Just don't. Just, it's going to be so much better in like an hour. Half an hour. Give it at least a half an hour. Just fucking walk. Just walk away. Just walk away. Walk away. Just walk away.